Strange Roman hygiene habits often surprise modern readers, because they reflect a world where daily cleanliness mixed practicality, superstition, and social ritual. For Romans, hygiene was not only about health, but also about status, community, and tradition. While their engineering achievements included aqueducts, sewers, and grand bath complexes, many of their everyday practices would seem unsettling today. Understanding these habits requires stepping into a society that viewed the body, waste, and cleanliness very differently from us. This first part explores the foundations of Roman hygiene, focusing on public bathing culture, shared tools, and beliefs that shaped their routines. Public baths were the heart of Roman hygiene, so almost every city, even small towns, had bathhouses where citizens gathered daily. Bathing was a social event rather than a private chore. Men and women usually bathed separately, though. Mixed bathing existed in some periods. Visitors moved through a sequence of rooms, beginning with warm areas, progressing to hot rooms, and ending with cold plunges. Instead of soap, Romans coated their skin with olive oil. They then scraped the oil, sweat, and dirt away, using a curved metal tool called a strigil. This process cleaned the body, but also exfoliated the skin, leaving it smooth and shiny. The use of strigils led to one of the stranger aspects of Roman hygiene. The scraped mixture of oil, sweat, and skin, known as gloios, was sometimes collected. Wealthy Romans believed this residue had cosmetic or medicinal value. This could be sold, reused as a skin treatment, or applied as a remedy for aches. Gladiator sweat, in particular, was highly prized. Women reportedly bought it as a beauty product, believing the strength of fighters transferred through their perspiration. To modern minds, this practice feels unhygienic, yet Romans saw it as luxurious and beneficial. Another unusual feature of Roman baths was the shared nature of tools and spaces. Towels, strigils, and seating were often communal. Bath water was not changed frequently, meaning many bodies passed through the same pools. Despite this, Romans believed bathing promoted health and balance. The baths were heated, spacious, and beautifully decorated, reinforcing the idea that cleanliness was linked to civilization and leisure. Disease transmission was not well understood, so the social benefits of bathing outweighed concerns about germs. Cleanliness extended beyond bathing into daily grooming habits. Romans commonly removed body hair using tweezers, pumice stones, or resin waxes. Hairlessness was associated with refinement, particularly among the elite. Barbershops were popular meeting places where men shaved, trimmed hair, and exchanged news. However, razors were crude by modern standards, and small cuts were common. Alum and other substances were applied to stop bleeding, showing a practical, if painful, approach to hygiene. Roman beliefs about hygiene were deeply connected to ideas of balance and morality. Excessive dirt was seen as barbaric, while extreme cleanliness could be viewed as indulgent. The ideal Roman maintained a disciplined body, cared for through routine bathing and grooming. Philosophers sometimes criticized luxurious baths, arguing they weakened moral character. Despite these debates, bathing remained central to Roman life for centuries, shaping how people understood health, beauty, and respectability. This overview sets the stage for even stranger practices. While baths and grooming formed the visible face of Roman hygiene, other habits involving waste, cleaning materials, and medical treatments were far more unsettling. In the next part, we will explore how Romans dealt with toilets, cleaning after use, and the surprising substances they employed to maintain cleanliness in daily life. Roman hygiene habits also reflected social hierarchy and citizenship. Access to large, well-maintained baths was often subsidized by emperors or wealthy patrons, reinforcing loyalty and civic pride. Entry fees were usually low, making baths accessible to many free citizens, though enslaved people often attended only while serving their owners. Children learned bathing routines early, absorbing cultural norms through observation and repetition. Even travelers expected bathhouses along major roads, showing how deeply ingrained the practice was. Cleanliness, therefore, became a marker of belonging to Roman civilization itself. To be Roman was to bathe, scrape, groom, and socialize in shared spaces. These customs, strange as they appear now, helped unify a vast empire by giving diverse populations a common daily ritual centered on the body and public life. Through these routines, hygiene became language, silently communicating discipline, identity, and order, reminding citizens that personal care was inseparable from civic duty tradition. And the shared rhythms of Roman urban existence across generations, continents, and centuries of rule and memory together, enduring permanently for everyone, everywhere, always. Beyond baths and toilets, Roman hygiene was deeply shaped by superstition. Romans did not separate cleanliness from religion or magic. Health was seen as a balance between physical habits, divine favor, and unseen forces. As a result, many hygiene practices combine practical routines with rituals that now appear strange, irrational, or even dangerous. Roman medicine was based on the theory of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Cleanliness was believed to help maintain balance among these substances. Bathing, sweating, and scraping the skin were thought to release excess humors. However, when balance failed, doctors often turned to extreme treatments. Bloodletting was common, using knives or leeches to remove blood. While sometimes relieving pressure, it frequently weakened patients. Cleanliness here meant reducing what was considered excess, not preventing infection. Romans believed certain objects could protect the body from disease or bad luck. Amulets, shaped like eyes, fists, or phallic symbols, were worn to ward off evil influences. These charms were considered a form of hygienic defense. Romans believed saliva had protective powers. People spat to ward off bad luck, cure minor ailments, or protect themselves from envy. Pliny the Elder wrote that spitting could neutralize evil spells or relieve pain. While saliva does contain enzymes, its ritual use reflected belief rather than science. Romans also used animal products in hygiene and medicine. Fat, blood, and ashes from animals were mixed into ointments and soaps. Some believed rubbing animal dung on the skin could cure rashes or inflammation. Crocodile dung, imported from Egypt, was even used in cosmetics. The more exotic the ingredient, the stronger its supposed effect. Religious purification rituals further shaped hygiene. Before entering temples or performing sacrifices, Romans washed their hands and faces in sacred water. This act was less about physical dirt and more about moral purity. However, the same water was often reused by many worshippers, creating conditions for disease spread. Spiritual cleanliness mattered more than physical safety. Death also influenced Roman hygiene beliefs. Corpses were considered polluting, and those who handled the dead underwent cleansing rituals afterward. Yet embalmers and body washers lacked protective measures, exposing themselves to decay and disease. The ritual cleansing symbolized restoration of social order rather than true sanitation. Women's hygiene involved its own strange beliefs. Menstrual blood was feared and revered. Some Romans believed it could spoil crops or dull metal, while others thought it had healing power. Remedies included using menstrual blood to treat ailments or repel insects. These ideas reinforced fear and mystery around the female body, shaping hygiene practices through superstition instead of understanding. Despite these unsettling customs, Romans believed their approach was rational. They observed effects, trusted tradition, and relied on authority figures like physicians and priests. Hygiene was not about eliminating germs, but about harmony between body, society, and the divine. Strange Roman hygiene habits remind us that cleanliness is culturally defined. What feels revolting today once felt logical, even advanced. Roman practices laid foundations for public health while simultaneously spreading disease. Their legacy is a powerful reminder that progress is uneven, and that future generations may view some of our own habits as equally strange, as misguided or unsettling in the long arc of human history and belief.